Hey everyone, welcome back to Tactical Magic Podcast. This is Molly Mandelberg, your host, and I am delighted to be bringing this episode to you today. I met this brilliant woman at a friend's house in St. Louis, Missouri, and immediately knew that we were going to be friends. I actually felt like I drove to the state just to get to meet this person.
It's not just about mastering technology. It's not just about brand or messaging. It's not just about making more money. It's about showing up in a big way so your people can find you. This is about bringing your most wild and authentic self into the hustle and grind. Welcome to Tactical Magic, a business strategies podcast for the warrior goddess entrepreneur.
Shenee is a brilliant healer, leader, facilitator, and breathwork specialist. And I don't even think we've done an episode on breath work on this show. So I'm really excited to dig into that as a modality and as a tool for transformation and growth. And I'll read you a little bit about Shenee. So Shenee Booth founded Inspiration Activation as a way to combine powerful healing practices with her love for traveling to inspiring locations. Her teachings focus on breath as a tool for empowerment to shift the lens through which you're experiencing your reality and create the life you dream of. Her focus is on transformational breath work, which she blends with other modalities to curate unique sessions based on her clients' goals by including many different integrative tools such as mindfulness, movement, guided journaling, energy work, sound healing, ritual, and ceremony. She offers both in-person and online retreats, workshops, and programs for both individuals and group settings. And it gets better than that. Let her tell you when we get to it. But welcome to the show, Shenee. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you, Molly. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah. So just to give people a little snapshot, you're just returning from abroad and you're about to go abroad again. Tell us your trajectory the last few weeks.
I just got back from my very first trip to Costa Rica. We went to the Imiloa Institute and did a 6-day retreat. It was so beautiful. We blended together dance and yoga with breathwork, of course. So I facilitated 3 deep breathwork journeys. It was a really nice flow. The first one, we really learned a lot about the technique and different ways to use breathwork. And the second one we paired with dance. So we did a little movement and got really into our bodies and then did our deep breathwork journey and then got right up without breaking or sharing or anything first and really moved the body to process what had came up for us in that kind of somatic way. And then our third session, we got really deep into journaling. We did some, what I like to call design your ideal life process. So really looking at all the different areas of your life that are important to you, getting really honest about where you're at currently, and creating some affirmations to help you get to where you are hoping to go to fully embody your ideal life.
Yeah. And I saw some pictures from the retreat location and it was absolutely stunning. I mean, Costa Rica is beautiful no matter where you go. And I've stayed in some amazing rustic places in Costa Rica personally when I was much younger, but the event space that you guys were working in just looked absolutely beautiful. And you're about to go to, it's Belize, right?
Yeah, we are about to go to Belize. We are hosting at Sattva Land, which is a holistic lifestyle center. This will be our 3rd time returning there. So we're really, really grateful to have created this family relationship with them at that property. We will be doing a very similar flow. We'll be visiting the Caribbean and some Mayan temple ruins and really being inspired by the location. That's a big part of why I do what I do with blending the inspirational travel into these more therapeutic practices is I really firmly believe in getting something unique from all the different environments that we can breathe in the prana from.
Yeah, that ever occurred to me really, that doing the same breath work in a different location, you're literally breathing in different space, different energies, different.
Yes, and I can really feel it. This was our first time in the jungle since, a few years ago. And so as soon as we dropped into the meditation, it was very clear to me, oh, I feel whatever that is that the jungle is bringing to this experience, the moisture of the rainforest and just that uniqueness. Do an annual event in July that we go down to the redwoods in Northern California, and we stay in Southern Oregon. And that vibe, that prana that those old, ancient, big trees are giving us is, just as amazing and beautiful, but completely different. And to bring that into the practice and really connect with the earth in that way is just, magical beyond words.
Miraculous. Yeah. Amazing. Okay. So I want to back up a couple steps because I know while breathwork is gaining a lot of attention over the last few years, and I know even like Western medicine is starting to recommend it as a process to help people heal their bodies. There might be some people out there who are like, I don't even know what it is. I've heard of breathwork, but like, what even is that? Can you just give us sort of your rundown on what that is and how it works?
Sure, absolutely. So the style of breathwork I'm doing is a conscious, connected breathing practice. Conscious because you're aware the whole time. So, and connected because we're taking out any pause in the breath. So it's a circular breath. And the process lasts for about 45 minutes. I turn on some really nice melodic music. We start out easy and slow. Then the music gets more intense and we start breathing more rapidly. But essentially, you're breathing with no pause and it's creating a energy circuit. So it's elevating the frequency of your energy body. It's slowing down your brain waves very quickly and almost to like a state of right before you fall asleep. So you might relate to, like when you're about to go to sleep and you have all your brilliant ideas. You're like, oh, you forgot to do that today or whatever. It's because you're getting more access to the subconscious mind at that time. So we're able to use these tools, neuro-linguistic programming, repeating affirmations, and so on, to intentionally sort of reprogram what is in the subconscious. That's where a lot of our automatic reactions come from. So we have the opportunity to really get in there and reprogram some of our limiting beliefs, some of the ways that we're seeing the world that is making our life present itself in a less desirable way. And so it's very activating. A lot of people experience an altered state of consciousness. It's very mystical, maybe even psychedelic. Yeah, I like to say that the breath has a wisdom in itself. So it's going to show you exactly what you want to, what you need to process in that moment. Yeah. It's truly your life force. Your breath is your life source as well. And what I see in session is that however you're experiencing your life is how your breath is, or, however your breathing is going to show up in your life. So if your life is very tense and constricted, life tends to feel tense and constrictive, and that tends to show up in your session. We use this diaphragmatic breathing to really correct any breathing issues that might be there, any tightness, tension in the breath. And when you are able to create a more expansive, free breath, then life starts to show up in a more expansive, free way. It's really beautiful.
It's amazing. Yeah. And I love that. I just want to highlight that part that you said, because we've talked on a variety of different episodes, because I have, different modalities of healers that come on the show. We've talked about it through the lens of hypnosis. We've talked about it through the lens of tapping, that the subconscious mind is where we're carrying all the stuff that sort of auto responds in our lives. And if we want to reprogram that, whether it's, I have to work hard to make money and we want that to be, it could be easy to make money, or, I hate my body, to I love my body and I co-create my life with my body. Those subconscious beliefs have to be sort of accessed and unpacked in order to be rewritten and changed. And so I love, just even though you need a guide to do it really well, of course, the idea that we can use our breath to enter an altered state where we can tap into that subconscious mind so easily is just so powerful. You don't need a device. You don't need a tool. You don't need to take anything like a psychedelic drug to get to that place, that you can actually breathe to tap into that awareness of your subconscious mind and then consciously reprogram it to work for you instead of against you. It's really powerful.
Absolutely. You just highlighted one of my really main reasons why I love working with the breath so much. And that is that you don't need anything external outside of yourself. You literally, are laying down or sitting down and using a tool that's within you always. And that is the most empowering thing for people to realize, that they have this tool within them always, whether or not they're conscious of it. They can choose in any moment to breathe in a different way, and it will shift what they're experiencing.
Yeah. Amazing. Makes me want to take a deep breath. Okay, so I want to again back up, because for me, I'm aware of it. You probably don't even notice you're doing it, but on this show, we often have people who are solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, people who are doing their own thing most of the time. And the retreats that you're leading and the way that you're running your business is different. And I want people to know just a little bit about what that's like, because you're co-facilitating retreats. You're collaborating with other practitioners. You're building your business as your own business, but you're doing it in tandem and in co-creation with other people so often. And I've done that in small amounts here and there when I've created events with other people, but you do it in such a big way. Would you just share a little bit about why you do that, or what it's like co-creating versus solo creating all the time? Because I know a lot of people out there might be curious how to do that better.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as I started practicing a lot of breath work and experiencing that in the form of an hour-long session, I came to realize that I really, really deeply saw and felt deeper results, reaching my goals quicker when I paired my sessions with journaling or movement. If I opened my body up in order to receive more breath beforehand, or if I really got into the intention of, taking my thoughts outside of my own mind, getting them down on paper, giving them some power in the physical realm. And it became very clear to me that there's a lot of power in committing yourself to maybe days of this sort of immersion, rather than just going into an office for an hour or going to a quick workshop and then having to drive back home or go right back into your work or whatever it is. And, of course, that I can't show up to facilitate all of the things. So I started to work with facilitators and teachers that I had big impact from in my life. So it's just so pleasurable, I think, to create such a team to show up and lead other people. And like this past week in Costa Rica, we had 19 individuals with us. And when you have a group like that, they're going to resonate with different people's perspectives and opinions and teachings, So I like to have more facilitators with me that can speak to their experience in different ways, and, trusting that everyone in the circle is kind of hearing it from a point of view that is touching them more than maybe I could speak on myself.
That's so powerful. I mean, just the idea that as a leader, as an entrepreneur, as somebody who, wants to attract clients and wants to be the one at the front of the room or whatever, to recognize that some of your people are going to hear it better from somebody else, and to be so in like abundance mindset or prosperity mindset that you want to provide that person for them also, is like such a mindset shift from how most people are running their business. And so like leading from generosity and from actually looking at what can create the highest good for people. I just love the energy of that, and the way that you do that in your business is really beautiful. And like, of course, you're going to have 19 people show up at a retreat. That's full on. You need more than one person to facilitate that energy. Or you need a team to hold the space while you're not always on.
Exactly. And I think it makes it more fun. We're doing like really deep, nitty gritty inner work that is sometimes very uncomfortable and very, even sometimes dark and just sticky to navigate. And so having more people to bring in the fun and the interaction and the community in a different way is just really nice. Yeah, I'm really grateful that I get to work with so many magical, amazing facilitators.
So what are you most excited about in your business right now? What's coming up? What's happening?
So I have been creating a online virtual program to help support people in between retreats, and also help support those who I've been working with one-on-one in a deeper way. This will look like doing virtual sessions online, and then having support, coaching, or mentorship in between sessions, rather than just having a session and then, okay, I'll see you next time, whenever that is. Really committing to something regular and looking at all those areas of life that are important to you, getting really clear about what your goals are, and having a system to really make sure that you are getting enough support to shift your life and get the results that you want.
Awesome. And then there's the Belize retreat coming up with, I think it's within a week of when this episode is going live, but you just had somebody sign up 24 hours before the Costa Rica retreat. So anything is possible.
Yes, absolutely. I was literally at a concert, a musical concert, on my way right before I caught my flight. I was like, I'm going to pop into this show and see some old friends and be on my way. It'll be a really nice send off. And I met a beautiful woman there, and 12 hours later, she bought her ticket and she came to join us. It was just amazing. I love that spontaneous energy, and that, like, when you know it's right for you, it's right. And there's no denying that pull and the intuition. And I love to see people follow it. And I think that is also part of why I'm offering these types of experiences. I am in no way blind to how much it takes to plan a trip, to align your life so that you can go so far away from home. And, and we do local things and stuff so that people don't have to, travel so far if that's not if that's not resonating with you. We do offer a lot of local things in the Midwest and St. Louis and local Southern Oregon locations. But yeah, her spontaneous energy to just be like, this is what I need right now. I'm doing it, like, without even 24 hours of thought, was just like so inspiring. I love it.
And so if anybody is feeling that call right now and you're like, this is what I need, Belize is happening in a few short days, maybe a week. Tell us a little bit about what's going to be going on in Belize. How many days is that retreat and who's it for?
It's 6 nights, 7 days. Starts on March 13th. We love being there in March because that is the time that there's most fruit ripe. So we really get to have the benefits of all that yumminess. Yeah. So who is it for? I really see a lot of benefit for people who show up to these retreats that are feeling maybe a bit stuck or stagnant in their life. We work with a lot of people who are making transitions. So whether that was a chosen transition, maybe a career or a home transition, or maybe you had some big life change that, wasn't chosen at all. And you're just like, well, what the heck is going to come next? A lot of times it is the weight of emotional baggage, held resentments, past traumas, and so on, that are really like holding us stuck or in that procrastination phase. So using a lot of breath work and these other tools that we'll be offering gives the opportunity to really clear that away, kind of empty yourself, if you will, and start with a clean slate. And that really holds the potential to spark a lot of creativity. We see a lot of people this past week. I had some man in session came out and said, that one session, I got my money's worth for this whole retreat. I just downloaded my whole next book idea. And now he knows what he's doing next. Just amazing.
So come to Belize if you want to. And we'll give you the link at the end of the show for how you can find out more about that. But don't be afraid to be spontaneous and do radical things. I wanted to take this class that's happening this weekend in Arizona, and I was in the Bay Area a few days ago. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to spend the money. I wasn't sure if I wanted to make the drive. But then I was like, you know what? I need some time in Sedona. So I drove down to Sedona on Monday. And I was like, if the money magically shows up this week for that class, I'll take that class. And within the last 24 hours, all the money for the class just happened to come in all these different magical channels. And then I was like, oh, wait, I forgot to manifest the money for the dog sitter I'll need for the weekend. And right as I had that thought, another person booked a session for that amount of money. I was like, okay, fine. I'm going to this class, and I'm going tonight. It starts tomorrow officially, but there's a little intro tonight. So you never know how the universe is going to show up to support you when you make the choice that something is for you. So like, if you're sitting there thinking, oh gosh, this Belize retreat would sound so great, but I can't, maybe replace but I can't with what would it take? And what needs to show up in my life so that I could choose this? And what would that look like? And, I'm willing to receive this if it's in my highest good. Universe, show me the way. There's ways to open up doors where we normally close them down. So don't put Belize on the no side of the list. If it's really calling to your heart and soul, maybe invite the universe to show you how miraculous it can be and taking you somewhere that you'd like to go. Just offering that up to anybody who's like maybe on the fence or knows they want to be there and doesn't think it's possible. Anything is possible.
Thank you for saying that. I feel like the mindset shift that you just described has been one of the most palpable things that has changed about my life through working with you in magic. Just that you explained it perfectly. Just shifting your mindset to what would it take? How does it get better than this? And really allowing that to come in. I know that working with you and making those types of mindset shifts has truly, truly gotten me to where I am. And I almost don't even have the words for that. It's
awesome.
Powerful.
Thank you. Yeah. So for anybody who's wondering what Shenee means, she's been in my magic program, which is Magnetic Influencer Collective, which is my 6-month program that I say is about magic and marketing, but it's really more about the energetics of how we run our business. And it's really that exact thing. How can we refocus what we think is true to what we'd like to be true and open up as many doors of possibilities as possible so that the business, the life, the relationships, the magic that we desire can show up faster. And it was such a gift to get to have you in that program and share with each other in that magic space, and to just get to watch how your confidence and your like trust in your business has evolved over that time is like so amazing and so fun to watch.
Yeah, I truly appreciated your ability to blend the more energy work, magical things with like very tactical, logistical, run your business type things. And that has been very beneficial to me and also resonated with me a lot, because really that's kind of what I am offering, is a very deep blend of different tools with the belief that blending multiple tools together over the course of the time. Our program was 6 months long. My retreats are a week. That's very different than just having a short session. That was very impactful.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for taking that ride with me, and thanks for sharing what you got out of it. That's really nice.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. So what are the ways that people can come and find out more? Because I know that there's this Belize retreat. You've got something coming up on the solstice. How can people find you? And, if people aren't ready to sign up for something right now, what's the best platform for people to follow you on? I know you're pretty hot on Instagram lately.
Yeah, Instagram is probably my favorite social to use. I'm not as active on Facebook, although you can find me there. Do keep my website very updated. So that's www.inspirationactivation.life. And I've been working on an inspiration activation app that will soon be available. So anybody that's working with me will be able to get their daily practices and private groups for retreats they've been to, and they want to stay connected with each other and so on in that sort of social atmosphere without any of the ads and algorithms and other things.
Amazing. I'm so excited to hear more about that. That's awesome. That's great. And wow, an app that just threw my brain for a loop. I'm like trying to imagine it. I want to go back to the name of your business, Inspiration Activation, because when I first heard it, I was like, yeah, we're activating our inspiration, but it really is meaning, tell us how inspiration actually relates to breathwork.
Awesome. Thank you for asking. I'm so glad that we got to this. So inspiration, the root word of inspiration is inspire. If you look up the definition of inspire, it actually means to inhale. So if you, even think about how you breathe when you're inspired compared to when you breathe in other emotional states, that state is very expansive, very open, free, full of potential. And so that is the state that we're seeking to activate in this kind of inspiration activation experience.
Yes, I love that. I'm glad that you were wanting me to ask that question and that came up. That's great. So inspiration activation on Instagram. Everybody open your Instagram app real quick. unless you're driving, please don't text and drive, and follow Inspiration Activation and let her know you heard about her on this show so you guys can just connect and have a conversation. I promise Shenee's really nice to know in person. You probably want to be her friend. And inspirationactivation.life, we will give you the link to both of those places in the show notes of this episode. So if you are driving, don't worry about it. Come back and check on it later. But I like to ask this question on almost every episode when I remember to. Are there any words of wisdom that you want to share with people? Anything you want to make sure to leave people with?
Just that wherever you are in your journey, it's perfect. And you have all the tools within you to navigate yourself to all of your dreams and desires. So it's just a matter of finding someone that you resonate with, that you'd like to work with, or a tool that you feel called to that is making some sort of palpable shift. And, it all just goes back to willingness and making a commitment to yourself. Yeah, I just send all that energy of those vibes out to y'all.
Yes, you can have anything you want. And sometimes the tools to get them are easier than you expected. I also just want to mention to anyone out there, like, these retreats sound amazing, but that's like bigger than I can leap to right now. That Shenee is actually really accessible and she can come. I mean, I assume you travel to places, but I know in the St. Louis area, you're doing like small group retreats. People can put a group together and you'll come work your magic to like a group of friends who just want to have an like elevated getaway. Or
yeah, I have been doing a lot of private retreats where we either will go to someone's home or an Airbnb or even meet up at a park. And yeah, I am regularly in the St. Louis area. I'm regularly in the Southern Oregon area, and I love to travel. So please reach out and inquire. There's no question that is too much or too silly. I would love to, see how the best way to serve you is. And I love when people get their own group together of people who are interested, because there's this another layer deeper of people who are showing up and willing to have this experience with each other. It's a little different than coming to a room full of strangers. And of course, a room full of strangers, no one got there by accident. Everyone, I really firmly believe that everyone that shows up in this space is bringing something unique, and it's very, very intentional and has something to give everyone else in the group. But yeah, I love doing private retreats and small groups, big groups, everything in between.
awesome. So reach out, inquire if you have some friends you want to do that with.
We will be doing a small group on the Illinois side. I know I have some Illinois followers that aren't in the city, about 30 minutes outside of St. Louis. I'll be doing a group on a beautiful lake in Millstone, Illinois to celebrate the solstice. And we also have a group gathering planned for April 30th at Astro Valley Art Park, which is one of our favorite venues. And there's creeks and caves, and again, just a totally different environment to have supporting you through this experience.
Great. So check out the website. She does a great job of talking about her events on her Instagram, Inspiration Activation. And Shenee, thank you so much for being on the show today. It was such a pleasure to get to share your magic with this audience. And everyone out there, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back next week for another episode of Tactical Magic. And as always, keep asking big questions and taking bold action, because you are here for a reason.